Okay.
All right, ready when you are.
All righty.
I don't think I can take this seriously. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's all good.
Great.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna laugh through it, but
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
good.
That's good.
Because it's like, it's you. If it was a stranger, I'd probably be a little more serious.
Yeah, but it's us, and
Yeah.
we've been through a lot together, so lots of things. This is Stella Ryan,
Hello.
and Stella and I worked together several days in a row, lots of hours together, and a few texts here and there. And she was gracious enough to allow us to organize her bedroom, her closet, and her bathroom. And Stella has lots of really cool, unique collections and hobbies. And it was so much fun to learn about K-pop and cryptids. Is that what?
Cryptids.
Okay. And we have a similar love of Edgar Allan Poe and love of little miniatures. And it was just really a fun project to work with you on because of that uniqueness and just interests and the way that we could kind of organize and display those. And your enthusiasm by far was very helpful. Always encouraging when you loved something, and you were also super clear if you didn't like something a certain way. And for an organizer, that's so key because we're not mind readers as much as people might think we are. So would you mind telling me a little bit about when you first were presented with the opportunity to have a professional organizer in your space as a young adult living at home with mom and dad and sister?
Well, I guess you can cut it if my mom already went over this, but it had initially started as like a thing for Ingrid because she's at London School of Economics, and like coming home, she just really wanted to like she had projects to work on, but she really wanted to decompress fully.
Yep.
And so it was their idea to get someone in her closet. I think it was just her closet and a little bit in her room, to help her feel really more rested and at home instead of in the crammed dorm room. And Ingrid and I didn't know this until after the fact, but Ingrid and mom kind of disagreed with over the matter that like Ingrid said, it's my space. This doesn't feel good. And our parents are all, what are you talking about? This is going to be a great refresh, like restart, kind of better for you mentally and whatever. And I didn't know Ingrid and I felt the same way on that until after the fact, which helped me feel a little better coming into this.
Yeah.
But that was the first time I heard about it. And that was, I want to say a good like 3 weeks before you came, because I never met Louise while she was here, but she helped Ingrid. But mentally the first time I was like, I'm glad that's not me. Like, I don't, like, this is my space. This is my depression nest. I don't care.
Yeah.
Her room did look really nice. And honestly, I really didn't care when I saw the end result because I was more terrified of having people in my space. And I was like, this process must have been so exhausting for her and, just intense. Whereas mom and dad were really excited. And then I don't remember if my room was decided next or if the laundry room was decided next. But I mean, it was my choice because even though I was in a really, really bad place at the time with my depression and anxiety, I knew it would be a good thing. But on the other hand, I feel as though even if I'd been like, no, I don't want this, my parents would have been like, too bad, we're doing it. Which, I totally would have respected because, on the back end, I'm really glad we did it. But honestly, up until like 3 hours in that first day, I was so not happy about having y'all here.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a morning person. I was like, there are these strangers and I'm my most vulnerable in the morning and this is my space.
Yeah. You called it your depression nest.
It was.
Tell me about that. If you feel comfortable.
I'm so comfortable. Okay. I'm super comfortable. Because I don't know if people my age are gonna see this, but I'm really excited about all the steps that have been taken towards mental health advocacy and representation more recently. And I feel like there can always be more. So even if it's just like someone's parents seeing this, I'm happy to talk about it. I've struggled with depression and anxiety, ADHD, more recently OCD, and borderline personality disorder. BPD gets mistaken for other things, but so it wasn't diagnosed until really late. And a lot of those were just a result of the depression and ADHD, like the anxiety and the BPD. They're like just really bad coping mechanisms that my brain developed for me to protect me. Of course, that didn't roll over well in life. My OCD, like, I'm great now, like having my room and everything having an exact spot. I'm able to keep things clean, but like before that, I was just never able to vocalize, like, besides feeling so extremely uncomfortable in my own skin, and just not even like safe in my own room. I didn't know what I needed, and so I just honestly kind of left everything out in my room, like on my bed, the floor, desks. There wasn't really any like open space. Part of that being, just I had no energy for anything, and the other part being, I would rather like be stressed by the space and be able to see everything than not be able to see anything, because I forget a lot with my ADHD, and I forget really important things, and it messes me up really bad in life and stuff. And so even with the littlest things, I'd be like, well, let me just like leave it in the corner on the floor, or like on a shelf in my closet where I can see it, because then at least I'll remember to come back to it that way. And so I like use that term very lightly, but also not at all, because some people will call like, a couple stray clothes on the floor, maybe like a book, oh, it's my depression nest. It really wasn't. Like it's like seeing a projection of what it feels like to live in my body. And it's a very like vulnerable thing, even though it's just like clothes and stuff. And I still don't really let people in my room, like not even my parents ever. But it just feels a little safer now. It's still now it's just more of a sanctuary than a depression nest, I think. So I don't use that term lightly at all. Though, and I'm sure we'll get into it with your other questions, but I don't think this has been beneficial for me in the way that my parents kept saying it was going to be, because they just assumed like, oh, organizing, now you'll be able to keep your room clean. Like, yes, and that's like not at all what this has turned out to be,
So what has it turned out to
be? The transformation from depression nest to sanctuary. I don't like, yes, I can keep things clean now, and my parents love that, but I mean, but what are they doing up here? I'm not letting them in my room anyway. But it just feels more me, like going through all my stuff with you and finding things that I hadn't seen in forever that I forgot made me like really, really happy. Like just off the top of my head, I mean, you'll see the photos online, but I have a little rock collection over here, from like representing different stages of my life, like when I found them, and I have specific memories and locations tied to them. I have like my National Geographics, and my love for nature and history. Some old books I hadn't seen in forever that I got to pull out of storage and put back on my shelves. And just like re-realizing a lot of things about myself. So this felt more like a thing of realization rather than organization.
Kind of a discovery.
I like and figuring out what I like.
Realization.
Like I need the help. I can't just unprompted, go at it. So having all of your questions and suggestions along the way, and you communicating so thoroughly with me while we worked, really helped, because
it means I talk a lot.
No, it's great though, because my parents will just be like, clean your room, and I'm like, what does that mean? But you're like, hey, what if we put this here, or we could like, switch this up to look this way. And I didn't realize that was the just right I needed until you like presented the option to me, and now my room just feels like more authentic to me.
Well, and one of the best parts of having you as a client, which sounds so formal and everything,
a client
is just that you were open and willing to say no, or to say, I don't really like that, or I really do like it here, not there. And that a lot of people aren't willing to do that, like, or aren't comfortable, doing that. So I would say that's probably a tip for any future clients, would be being able to just share what you do like and what you don't like, and it may not always look picture perfect, but it might.
But it might.
But it might.